Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the W2 Prison Break Show. Hope you're having a great day today. And again, I always appreciate you tuning in. It's just going to be me today. And I love doing these solo cast episodes where I get to share some thoughts and insights with you. And I've had great feedback on the solo cast too. So going to continue to do them. Love interviewing guests and sharing their knowledge and experiences with you. But I do really appreciate these opportunities to share my insights. We're working very hard on something that I'm calling the 777 Life Transformation Method, which is my 7 steps, 7 days a week for 7 years. Okay. And we're going to get through the steps here in just a minute. But, you know, a lot of people that I've interacted with, you know, I've left my job and they say, you know, hey, Brian, how'd you do it? You know, you make it seem so easy. And look, it ain't easy. It's not easy. Okay. And I take that feedback and I say, all right, what did I do? Like, how did I do it? What happened? And this has been happening for years for me. Okay. And a lot of the people that I work with or that I talk to, they're just simply not in a place mentally where they're ready to make a big change in their life or to make changes, right? To do something like starting a brand new business or leaving their career, starting another career, making a big, huge change in their life. They're just simply not there yet. And that's okay. That was me for a long time. And I started to think, okay, well, what was different about, 5 to 7 years ago than now? And I wrote it all out and I really reflected on it and thought about it. I'm going to share it with you today. And I wasn't mentally ready. I was trying to do something else for decades. And it all just boils down to I wasn't ready and I hadn't gone through these steps. That's why I stayed in the same place. That's why I stayed in my job. That's why my life was the same. And I didn't advance. I wasn't growing. And I'm going to share these with you right now. There will also it's coming soon. I don't know if it'll be out by the time this episode is. So I don't want to, mislead anyone here. But if you go to our website, w2prisonbreak.com, there will at some point be this checklist. I'm going to put a checklist together with these 7 steps so that you can have them available. You can, post them on your computer, whatever. So that it's, just visible, one pager in front of you. And you can just continue to remind yourself, because that's always helpful for me because I have a bunch of Post-it notes on my computer. I mean, just stuff that reminds me of like, hey, what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm trying to get to. All right. So step number 1 in this method, this 777 Life Transformation Method, 7 steps, 7 days a week for 7 years. Number 1, the most important step, in my opinion, and the most difficult one, is to accept and acknowledge your current situation in life. All right. Super difficult for a lot of people, super difficult for me. But look, I mean, there's no other way to sugarcoat it. You got to own your life. You got to own your life. You got to own your situation. We got to stop playing the victim role. We got to stop blaming outside circumstances. We got to stop blaming who the president of the United States is or what's happening in the world as to why we are not where we want to be. Okay. And I may be coming off harsh here. A lot of this is talking to me because I used to do this stuff. I blamed everybody else. I refused to take any ownership of my life. Then I got to the point where I realized and accepted that everything that had happened in my life was because of me. Now, does stuff happen to us? 100%. Does stuff happen to us? Yeah, absolutely. Bad stuff happens to great people. Good stuff happens to bad people. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we have a decision to make almost in every situation. We have choices. If you're not happy with your job, if you're not happy with your relationship, you have a decision. You have a choice. Don't blame the job. Don't blame the other person. You chose to stay with them. You chose to stay in the job. You chose the job. Nobody forced you. So you got to own it. You got to own your life. All right. And that's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. Just accept it. Acknowledge it. Like, look, hey, I'm here right now. I don't want to be here. This is not where I want to be. I'm here. I'm going to own it. I'm taking responsibility for my life and my actions and my choices and my decisions. There's nothing I can do about the past. It's over. Can't do anything about it. You got to forgive. You got to forgive and you got to move forward. So own your current situation. Define where you are right now. As painful as it might be, it's a very critical and important step to define where you are right now in your life. Because if you don't do this, you're not going to get to the next step. You're not going to get to any of the other steps. Okay, this is always going to come back to haunt you. So own it. Accept, acknowledge, own it, be okay with it, give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up over it, okay? There's no perfect human being on this planet. There never has been, there never will be. You don't need to put yourself on that pedestal where you have to live up to something. We're supposed to make mistakes. Own your life. Number 2, now that we've gone past this grueling step number 1, which can be difficult for some people, super difficult for me, I would encourage you to do it sooner than later so that you can move on and transform your life and get to where you want to go. Because if you do these 7 steps, you do them daily for 7 years, I promise you, 100%, you're going to get to where you want to go. Plan the vision for your life. That's step number 2. Plan the vision for your life. You've acknowledged where you are right now. You've accepted it. Now you got to figure out where it is that you want to go. You would be amazed by how many people I've come across who don't have a plan or a vision for their life. They don't know. You ask somebody, well, where do you want to be in 5 years? They look at you like you got 3 heads. They don't know. They haven't taken the time. All right. Again, that's okay. But I wanted to stress the importance of why you should be doing this. And I want you to think about everything that you plan in your life. You plan vacations. You plan, meetings with friends, restaurant reservations. You plan stuff with your children. You're planning everything, but you won't take the time to plan your life. Sit down and plan the vision for your life. What does 7 years look like? What does 10 years look like? What does next year look like? Why aren't we doing that? We get caught up in daily minutia, doing. Like we don't take time for strategy, right? For planning the vision of your life. The most important plan possible is the vision for your life. And it doesn't take that long. I'm going to give you a good resource, which is a book by Jairek Robbins called Live It. And it really helped me plan my life vision. And it started with an exercise where you write out your ideal day. Okay, you got a magic wand. There's no limitations on money. You forget about all that stuff. You have a magic wand, write out what it is that you're doing. Who are you with? Where are you? What are the smells? What are the sounds? I mean, just get as specific as possible. There's no limitations on you. This is your day. Write it out in great detail. Read it every single day and watch what happens. I once spent a month planning a vacation to Italy with my wife. I mean, I was researching books and, bus schedules and trains, and it was just ridiculous. I had spreadsheets. I mean, it was down to like to the minute of what we were doing. And it was a super awesome vacation. And why? Because I took the time to plan it out. Imagine if you did that for your life, okay, and executed on that plan. How awesome your life could be if you would take the time to do that. And for those of you who plan vacations, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll go through this, you'll spend 2 weeks planning a vacation. You won't spend 1 minute planning your life. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I see it all the time. And I say that because I did the same thing. I refused to plan the vision for my life. Okay. Now that you have the vision, you have the plan. Again, 7 to 10 years would be ideal. Now what you need to do is define what the action items are, what the required action items are to get you there. Okay, that the things that you're going to start doing now that's going to get you to this vision. Okay, and the easiest way to go through this exercise is you have the vision. All right, you have the vision of the 7 or 10 year version of yourself, and you just say, I'm just going to use my name as an example because I do this all the time. Would the 10-year Brian do this? Would the 60-year-old version of me do this? That's how I make my decisions. I try my best to live by that. Sometimes I, do it anyways when I know I shouldn't, but that's how you will make decisions. So define those action items. And again, these don't have to be massive things. We don't have to jump off 100-story buildings to get to our goals, okay? You just have to simply do small things on a daily basis consistently, or even if it's not daily, as many times as possible throughout the month, throughout the week, and you'll get there. You will get there. They don't have to be huge. You don't have to chop the whole tree down in one day, right? This is massive changes in your life come from small activities on a daily basis that you do consistently, all right? Small tweaks on a daily basis done consistently over a long period of time will have massive impact on your life. Step number 4, now that you have the action items, okay, we have to create what's referred to as our not to-do list. Not to-do list, the things that we're doing that we're no longer going to do because they don't serve us, they're holding us back, and they're preventing us from getting to the life vision that we did in step number 2, doing the action items. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm talking about here. Okay, a lot of the people that I work with, that I talk to, that I'm associated with, I don't have time for that. So number one excuse I hear, I don't have time for that. I call everybody out. I said, yeah, you do. You're just choosing to do something different. And you're also telling me that that's not important to you. Quitting your job and starting a business is not important to you. Health and fitness is not important to you. I don't have time to work out. Yeah, you do. You're just choosing to do something different. So I want you to think about that the next time that you say to you or to somebody else, I don't have time for that. I want you to think about what I just said. It's not important to you. That's what you're telling other people too. When you say to somebody, I don't have time for that, you're just simply saying, that's not important to me. That doesn't align with my vision. And for whatever reason, that excuse comes out. I don't have time, whether it's you don't want to do it or it's not important or you're scared or you're lazy or whatever it is. Quit saying that. Quit saying that. Just say it's not important to me or I don't want to do it. That's much better than telling people I don't have time for that, because you do. You're just choosing to do something different. So what we do when we create our not to do list is we define the stuff that we're doing on a daily basis. And y'all know what it is. You don't need me to tell you and babysit you. Y'all know what it is that you're not supposed to be doing. Okay. Make a list of 10 things. Make it easy on you. Make a list of 10 things that you're doing right now consistently on most days that you shouldn't be doing. All right. Now you have your list of 10, watching Netflix, social media. If you're looking to get health and fitness, like not working out, sleeping too late, staying up sleeping in, staying up too late, eating Oreos. That's my kryptonite, by the way. But whatever it is, like make that list out for you. You know what you're not supposed to be doing. We all know. We just refuse to take ownership of it. So you got your list, right? You don't have to knock 10 things off your list tomorrow. Do one. Take one thing and be like, I'm no longer going to do this because I know it doesn't serve me. I know it holds me back, and I'm not going to get to the 10-year version of me if I continue to do this. And this leads into step number five, which is you got to create new winning habits. You got to create habits. If you've ever listened to any of my episodes, and I hope you have, if you haven't, this is the first show, I welcome, and please listen to more shows. I ask almost every guest, what their habits are. Like, what is it that you do on a daily basis that you think sets you apart from other people or allows you to be successful? The answers are very similar. So you have to create these habits in your life that you're going to be doing daily in place of the stuff that you take off the not to do list. So take one thing off the not to do list, add a habit. Now, here I'm going to give you a habit that is the easiest habit, in my opinion, to start right now. You don't even need to do a not to do list, and that's gratitude. Okay, gratitude will have a massive impact on your life if you do it daily and you do it consistently. Okay, and the easiest way to do it, when you wake up and right before you go to bed, 30 seconds. Okay, instead of I don't want to get up, I can't handle this, I don't want to have to drive, I got all this stuff to do, like this sucks, my life sucks. Flip it around. Thank you. I'm grateful that I'm breathing. I'm grateful for my family, where I live, the opportunity for today. Let's get out of bed, put my feet on the ground, my 2 feet on the ground, and walk out of this room, my house. Some people don't have that stuff. So let's quit complaining about everything that's wrong. Start focusing on all the stuff that's right. Human beings do this, and if you get real with yourself, you will understand that there's more great stuff in your life than the negative stuff. We just choose to focus on the negative. We choose to focus on the 3, 4, or 5 things that are dragging us down, and we wallow in it, and we get addicted to it. There's so much greatness around us. Like, look outside. Just find the stuff that you can be grateful for and quit playing the victim role. You do that for 30 days. When you wake up right before you go to bed, watch how it pours over into other areas of your life. You will start to transform. That, I promise you. I've not met a person who did that and didn't say to me, Brian, you were right. One of the biggest changes I've made in my life is gratitude. Okay. It pours over into everything. So just start with your new habits. Replace one. Take one thing off the not to do, add a winning habit. You don't have to do what I do. I'm just giving you one thing. Gratitude is awesome. Working out in the morning, health and fitness in the morning. If you don't want to work out in the morning, work out in the afternoon. Just do it. Create habits. Create habits that win, that move the needle, that get you closer to the version of yourself that you wrote out in step 2. All right, step number 6, and I might linger here for a little bit because I have some big time thoughts on step number 6. That is to invest in your education. And I am not talking about college. I'm not talking about school. I'm not talking about taking out loans to pay for your education. I'm talking about advancing you personally, learning skills. If you want to break out of your W-2 job, you have to start investing in your education, in you. There is no greater return on anything in terms of dollars than the investment that you make in yourself, in your personal growth, in your personal development, in your education, in your ability to create and earn money. If I had $10,000, I want you to think about what you would do with that money. Like a lot of us say, oh, I'll pay off debt, I'll go on vacation, whatever. No, right here. And you're watching on YouTube, I'm pointing to me. I know that I'm the one who can turn that $10,000 into more money than anything else can. Me giving it to somebody, me giving it to the stock market, me investing in apartments in syndication, even a real estate deal. It's me. All right. I've spent over $100,000 on coaching, the best investment that I've ever made in my life. And it continues to pay me, continues to give me a return. And most people just don't get it. They don't understand. They just think that they don't need to do it. They can get it for free. And you can. And I'm going to give you some ideas here, because not everybody is in a position to where they can spend that kind of money on coaching. But I want you to think about where you spend your time and your energy and your dollars, right? Because that's super important. So when I started my education on my real estate journey, I started with books. I started with podcasts. I looked at YouTube. There's a lot of free stuff out there that you can download. Okay. And could you do a real estate deal if you're a real estate investor without a coach? Sure. See it all the time. Are you going to do 100 without a coach or a mentor or some type of guidance? No, you're not. I don't think you are. Maybe a one-off, 1 in 1,000, I'd say. The thing about coaching too is that we're masterminds, coaches and masterminds and mentors, and being around people who will lift you up and who are supporting you, is that you might be doing 100 deals a year, but you could be a pretty miserable person. That's what I'm talking about when I do this stuff. Like, it just continues with the growth and the transformation, is being around the right people, okay, who are doing these types of activities. Like, I didn't invent this. I'm just putting this together in this format for you. But successful people do this stuff. They do. Successful people own their life. Successful people have a vision. Successful people have a not-to-do list. They have great habits. They define the action items. They invest in their education. They're parts of masterminds. They have coaches. They have mentors. They have multiple. They do this stuff. And if you have aspirations of having this grandiose life or just a different life, on some level, you have to do all these steps. All right. You have to do all of them. So podcasts, coaches, mentors, masterminds, books, all that stuff. Like, I had a guy on the show yesterday. I interviewed him yesterday. It's coming out soon. He says one of his habits is I try to learn something new every single day. I've been reading for 1,000 some odd days straight. Do you think that would have an impact on your life if you did that? If you took some type of education every single day, you read for 10 minutes or whatever it is for 1,000 days straight, do you think you'd be different? Most people can't fathom, that's a long time. That's a big commitment. Yeah, it is. It is. Or your life will be long if you don't do it. Okay? Because you're not going to be where you want to be. So why not commit now and start working on the vision to where you want to go? Let's get there. You got to lay it out. Step number 7. This is an easy one because you're already gone through 6, right? Always be looking to level up. All right. What I mean by level up is, you're going to, if you go through these steps and you're in a situation where you're in a group, let's say you're in a mastermind group and you're around people and you're at the top of that group. You can't stay there. You can't stay at the top of that group. You got to get into a different room. You got to level up. You got to get to the bottom rungs of that group. Because what will happen is you're at the top, you're feeling good, your ego's being fed, you're spreading a lot of knowledge, you're giving value to people, and all of a sudden the people below you are just going to go right past you. And then they're going to go somewhere else. Now, if you're cool with being at the top of the group there, that's cool. But your life vision, your 10-year vision, it's going to take you longer to get there. So you got to be constantly looking to level up, look for places where you can be challenged and be uncomfortable, where people are smarter than you, and be okay with that. Like, I was not okay with that for a very long time. Like, I was like, well, no, nobody knows more than me, which is just, that's all fear-based, right? And constantly be looking to level it up. Okay. Look for opportunities for growth, look for opportunities where you're challenged, where you can, push yourself, get out of your comfort zone, and just look to do that. I've found that cycle. And again, the people that I talk to, it's every 3 years where you're going to need to do that. You're going to need to look for different rooms and different groups and, different chapters to where you're constantly being pushed and moved up. All right. So that's the 7-step method. And, I would encourage you to just start right away. You can do the gratitude thing right now, okay? But go through the steps and give yourself a little bit of grace. This stuff is not easy, but if you can get to this point where you're going through the acceptance phase and acknowledging and owning your stuff, I tell you, the other steps are going to be a lot easier. But you got to own your life first and foremost. You just have to do that. Hard for a lot of people, hard for me. And I can give you some advice on how to do that. If you reach out to me or comment or however you want to communicate, I'm happy to do it, because it was a super hard step for me. I always appreciate you giving me your time. I know you could be spending it doing a lot of other things. I say these things because I'm doing this solo cast. I just want to help people. I went through a hard time. It doesn't have to be the same for you. All right. So I hope these steps help you. Again, they're going to be downloadable soon. And I hope you have just a super awesome day. Thanks for tuning in.